Hi, everybody. This is Chris,
And this is Matt.
and this is Space Taxi. I don't know.
Yes,
It needs that.
it does. It's you. I don't want to spoil it, but this is a game about driving a taxi in space.
Jesus Christ, Matt. I mean, I know you gave us a spoiler alert, but
I know. The sucker came out in 1984.
1984.
We're going to talk about it right now. But
Are we going to
what are
review it?
we? No, we're not
Oh,
going to
thank
review
God.
it. We don't review
We
games.
don't
We
review
just talk
games.
about them.
Just talk about them, discuss their highs, their lows, our pros, our cons, what we feel about the graphics, the sound, the gameplay, the manual. But we do not review them.
No, it's indiscernible from a review, but we just refuse to call it a
Yeah.
review.
Well, it again, I've mentioned this to people who've brought it up because yeah, this would, like, for a lot of people this constitutes a review, but by saying it's not a review and that we're not passing some sort of judgment on the thing, it takes a lot of the edge off the comments. Like, no one's feeling like you dogged on my favorite game.
Yeah. Sometimes we just we don't feel it. Sometimes we feel it and we know it's bad.
Mhm.
You know how it is. It's
Sometimes
just
we
like,
agree it sucks, sometimes we do not agree.
right? Sometimes you are wrong about these games.
Yeah, sometimes you are. And sometimes we're
Uh,
right, like Auto Duel. It's not a good game. Not a good game.
nope, doesn't hold up. Doesn't hold up at all. All right, we're already having a go at Auto Duel.
We
We've
already
been
haven't, yeah.
talking
Well,
for
I
2
wanted to get it
minutes.
out of the way.
Yeah.
It will be brought up again before the end of this video, though, just so everyone knows.
Yeah. Yeah, this came out in 1984, released by Muse Software, and Muse Software is most known for
Operation Wolf. No!
no,
Castle Wolfenstein.
Castle Wolfenstein. Operation Wolf was fun though in the arcade.
It
Had the
was.
machine gun, didn't it?
Yeah.
And it like would go.
Oh, I loved
It's a good
Operation
time.
Wolf. Now, just we also go off the topic here, but in the off the topic, let's talk about Operation Wolf here a second.
Absolutely,
I
let's.
saw two versions of it. I'm wondering if you also saw two versions of it.
I don't recall.
So one version is you start the game and you shoot at the area you want to go to.
Yes, I remember that.
And another version is you have to go through it in a set order.
Really? I much prefer to choose my own adventure, even though I always went through it in the same order.
Well, and I think that's why there eventually became a programmed path, because you do this to get the ammo, you do this to heal after getting the ammo, you do this to do the next thing. But I just was wondering if anyone else noticed that there were two versions of Operation Wolf and maybe even know why.
Yeah, I would love to know why. That was the first game I remember that provided me tactile feedback.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Uh,
The
it
gun
was
shake.
cool. Yeah, and it would slow down like as you got weak,
Mm-hmm.
and it would knock slower. Very
Nice.
very interesting.
Okay.
But we're not talking about Operation Wolf.
Okay.
We're talking about allegedly Space Taxi. Awesome.
Did you
Just
think it was
like-
awesome? Did you have a good time with it?
I it, I had a hard. I'm not good at it, but I definitely appreciated it. It's a weird little game. It's an eclectic, strange game.
I think the thing that caught me most off guard about it is how little any of this has to do with space. I mean, there's a taxi and you're taxiing people, but you're doing it on a giant lollipop or on a beanstalk or with lasers shooting at you. But like, only that it operates on like the lunar lander thruster stuff.
Right,
Does it have
exactly.
anything space related?
Yes. Perhaps it should have been called Terrestrial Taxi.
Terrestrial
doesn't
taxi.
Doesn't quite have the same, zazz to it.
Well, even if you called it terrestrial taxi, I mean, what do you call landing on a candy cane? Like, that's not even terrestrial, really. That's just
Right.
some
the
of the shit
levels
in here is just bonkers.
the levels are really strange. Like the first, so what you're doing, you're flying around in the space taxi, and you have thrusters, and then you pop down your landing gear when it's time to land. It's clearly derived from Lunar Lander. Um, but what's kind of strange, and you're like picking people up, and they tell you what pad they want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
This is some kind of futuristic hellscape where people just spend all day going from one pad to another. But uh you get to like level 2, and right away it starts to get weird, because I think level 2 is the beach level, and like pad 1 is on a cloud,
Mm-hmm.
and pad 2 is on an umbrella,
Yeah.
and pad 3 is just like inexplicably just a pad.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. So I think like this was made by a guy named John Kutcher, and I
Mm-hmm.
think he had a lot of fun designing these levels.
Right.
And I get it, because it needs that, because if it were just pad after pad, it would get boring. But you
Yeah.
do kind of get interested to see what weird thing he's going to do next.
Well, and by just taking the gloves off for that and being weird, you can add like, okay, this one's gonna have lasers. This one's gonna have turrets at the bottom that shoot at you. This one's gonna
Hmm.
do this other weird thing, and it it freed him up to be crazy. There was enough other constraints on making a game on the Commodore that yeah, that he didn't need the constraints of imagination on top of it.
Right. Right. Yeah. All the hazards are really interesting. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's hard it's hard to fly the space taxi because it's got inertia. It's one of those games. But then you throw in all the other stuff on top of it,
Mm-hmm.
it gets pretty frantic. And like also it doesn't really give a shit about being fair all the time either. Because
No.
sometimes you'll just be parked to pick up a person like you're supposed to, and you'll just like get shot with something.
Yeah.
And there's no way to avoid it. It's
Yeah.
just like you're just screwed. That definitely happened to me a
Yeah, it
lot.
happened
And
to me more than once, and we'll see it in this video too. Um, so yeah, I liked the whimsical. I liked the difficulty of it. I don't know
Mhm.
if you did. It sounds like you had a harder time.
I mean, it's hard in a way that you feel yourself getting better at.
That's what I was gonna say. It's not that I didn't
So,
find it hard. I liked the difficulty because I knew I could get better,
mhm.
as opposed to some games that are just nah, screw you. We're just
Right, right. Like there's still room for you to make small mistakes. Some
hmm
levels more than others, because like there's a lot of really tight spaces. I
right.
was quite surprised how difficult some of the layouts are, but people can do it.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them, but people can do it.
What level did you get to where you realized like things were even weirder than you thought?
Well, I bounced around a lot. So
Okay.
I just like started on beginner
Okay. That's what
and
I did
got to
too.
like level 4 before I got kind of like had a hard time. But those levels, like these first 4 or so levels, they're not like staggering.
No.
But then I think I went straight to like the 24-hour random just to get a
Mm-hmm.
smattering, and it brought me to
Some weird shit.
the one where there's like platforms that move, and it's
Yep.
so tight and they move in opposite directions. I was like, there's just I'm not gonna be able to do this ever.
This was the level that let me know this beanstalk one we're watching was the one where I went, okay, there's more to this than just the lunar lander with people.
Mm-hmm.
Watching the leaves grow, it seems like such a simple thing, but it was just this sort of realization of how much attention was put into it.
Right, right. Yeah, the levels are what kind of makes this cool and fun.
Mm-hmm.
And And when you beat a level that you're really stuck on, it feels really good because
Hmm.
it's not kind to you. It's not easy.
No. And most of the time, oh, you can hit guys too, by the way, like I just did there, just ran that guy over.
Yeah. Yeah.
We should mention the thing that's sort of the big standout from this is I don't know if there was an earlier game on the Commodore 64 or really anywhere else that did the voice synthesis.
Right. Right. He designed that hardware to do the voice synthesis, and that's his voice,
Yeah.
John Kuchner,
Oh, is it?
Kutcher, and yeah, it's his voice. And then he like slowed it down and sped it up to
Mm-hmm.
make it sound different. But like, I don't know if I. I mean, you can tell.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell it's really just pitch shifted or something.
Right.
But it's really neat.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
It's
he
like
didn't have to do the pitch shift. Like, if you even just having some guy say pad 4, please, would have been huge back then.
right. It
And
was super cool.
and making every guy sound different so it doesn't get boring, like that's just, I don't know. That's an attention to things that I really can get behind and appreciate.
Right. And the other thing that's great about it, oh, see, like, yeah,
Yep.
right there, you just kind of got screwed by the balls.
Mm-hmm. That happens more
But
often than I want to admit.
yep, same. Uh, but uh, he managed to keep these levels really, really fresh. Like
Mm-hmm.
this one, there's the balls. There's some things that just like fuck with your engine.
Oh God, that level.
Oh, yeah, I think that's the first intermediate level or
I
maybe
think
first
so.
difficult level you play. And it's just like it's so hard because it's really tight and you're sputtering and
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your controls are kind of taken away from you. That's the one level I didn't like. I don't like when a game messes with your controls. It's hard enough.
mhm.
You know, you can mess with a lot of things, but you take away my controls or you start making the car do something it's not supposed to do, and I don't know. Like I can
Yeah,
even handle it like skidding, like if they had some wind that pushed it, but the control was still mine to compensate, I'll do that all day. But have it
sure.
where it actually registers inputs I didn't make, I, I don't know. I hate
Yeah,
that mechanic.
yeah. Oh, good dipping and dodging.
Yeah, it's starting to get better once I like, oh, I think I see what's going on.
Yep.
Uh that said, I think that's the only mechanic in this game where I was like, that sucks.
Yeah. Like
That's not fun.
I didn't like getting hit by the balls when I should have been safe on the pads.
No.
But, you know, that's just like kind of the game,
Right.
really. So like that doesn't bother me
Mm.
quite as much.
No, you can usually too like wait to see how many they're going to shoot and try and dodge around
Hmm.
them and wait for a
Yeah,
safe time.
right. I
Yeah,
think yeah, this
first
is
of the
the level
hard.
we were just talking about interference. Yeah.
I
One
think.
thing that
Go
I'm
on.
sorry, go ahead.
No, no.
I was going to say one thing that struck me about it is that it seems really well thought out.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was impressed that when you put your landing gear down, you can still thrust every way but up. And it
Yes.
like makes sense and it's like
Mm-hmm.
really well thought out. And also like another example is when you pick up your last person, it tells you to go up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start on the next level, but you don't start picking someone up. You start dropping off the person from the last level.
Right.
And like that's a little thing, but it really shows a lot of thought and like, their logic was put into that to make that
Yeah.
happen. I was really kind of impressed with that. Yeah, fuck this level though.
No, I hate this level. Um, no, you can tell he cared about the gameplay and
Hmm.
the interest. It is one of the reasons why I do wonder why interference is in here, other than I did it and I need to keep the level.
Right.
Excuse me. One of the things I also thought was neat, not regarding the gameplay or anything. Normally back then, like if you went to a publisher or something, you often sold the rights to the publisher.
Hmm.
He kept the rights.
Hmm,
He
cool.
managed to keep his hands. It's still this game still belongs to him.
That's great.
Yeah.
I noticed Silas Warner,
Mm-hmm.
who was the dude who made
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein, did
Yeah.
the music for this.
Yes.
That's really cool. There was a
Mm-hmm.
great story about him I found. This is kind of like not directly related, but he did the music, so I can share the story.
Okay.
This is a quote from Muse Software founder Ed Zarin. It says Silas is one of a kind. I'll never forget first meeting him. Silas is a big guy, maybe 6'8", and say 320 pounds. Here's the picture. He was walking down Main Street in downtown Baltimore wearing a huge sagging sports coat. He had a car battery, yes, a car battery in one pocket, a CB radio in the other pocket, and a whip antenna stuck down the back of his jacket. He was occasionally talking on the CB as he held two magazines in one hand. One of Silas's favorite things was to read two mags simultaneously, kind of
Oh,
one inside the other, flipping back and forth.
I love it.
That is, I think that's the best story.
Yes.
A car battery,
Well, when you're that big, man, like
right? I know, right? I thought that was delightful. I
that
just
is
had to, like,
delightful.
we probably should have shared that when we talked about Wolfenstein, but whatever.
Well, we didn't know that unless you knew that then and just chose not to share it. You jerk.
Absolutely not.
Hmm.
Absolutely not the case.
I didn't think so. I didn't think so.
How did you control this thing? Did you use your joystick?
I used actually. Hate to say it, I used an Xbox controller.
Me too. It was hooked up already. I was just like, I'm just going to use it. It
Yeah.
was fine. It worked pretty well.
Well, I recently moved my offices, so a lot of my hardware is elsewhere.
Yeah.
I have to find it and then figure out where I'm going
Yeah.
to keep it if I'm going to keep it.
Right. Yeah, if you get to.
There may be a great purge of retro games coming soon.
No, really?
Yeah.
That's a sad story.
Mm-hmm. I'll keep the, PC Commodore collection for sure and my Atari, but do I need a
Yeah.
Super Nintendo collection?
Send me your games. I'll take your Super Nintendo games.
I know somebody who wants them.
I like a Super Nintendo. Did this come out on any other platforms beside Commodore? I don't think it did it?
No.
It was just Commodore. There's other games. He's only made 3 games that I could find. His first game was Rescue Squad, in which you play an ambulance driver
Mm-hmm.
and you're rescuing people from fires. And like I don't know a lot about ambulance work, but I thought firefighters rescued people from fires. I don't know. His other
Well,
game
he,
was
he has a taxi landing on an umbrella, so
that's
we're
true.
going to nitpick
Clearly
that
not a
detail.
stickler for realism. I watched some video of Rescue Squad. It didn't really look like a lot of fun to me, but it was like 3 mini games kind of hooked together. It looked okay.
I think that's the thing for back then, though. Like,
Yeah. I think he
in
made it when he was quite young, so
right.
but I mean I would still probably try it. He did that in '83, and then he did Space Taxi, and then his last game was Solo Flight Second Edition,
Okay.
which is kind of a third person flight sim kind of looking thing.
Okay.
It looked like it could be cool. And after gaming, he went on to make healthcare database software, medical database software. So that's I tried to find John Kutcher on LinkedIn so I could try to link in with him as I want to do, and no, couldn't
No.
find him. Couldn't find him. I've been trying to link in with people from the show Wife Swap.
Oh, have you? How's
Not
that going?
not having a lot of luck.
Not
They
having a
don't
lot
seem to want to link in with me. I don't know why.
of luck? Did you ever see the one where it was the LARPer and, like, I don't remember who the other one was?
Oh my god, no! But I must see it.
Yeah, you should find that one. It's good.
I've just been kind of like cherry picking Wife Swap episodes. I want to go back and watch because Gilbert Gottfried died.
Yeah.
He was on an episode of Celebrity Wife Swap, so
Was
I would
he?
like to go back and watch that. He was very frugal.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, very frugal
And something
individual.
about him strikes me as that. So.
Yeah, yeah, that was sad. Oh, with the yeah,
So
he
anyway, I thought the sounds on this were good.
yeah,
For a Commodore game, the graphics are very good.
yeah,
Controls, I don't know. I thought they were fine. It's a hard game, but like you said, the controls are well thought out.
yeah.
They're doing what they're supposed to do. I felt frustrated with my skill, but never with the controls.
Right. They're consistent.
Mm-hmm.
The gravity is not consistent. There's a lot of variability in each of the levels, but it's never you never even when it's screwed up, you never feel like your car's behaving in a way that you can't like figure out in a second.
Right. Like the reason it's behaving wrong is because of something on the level. You figure it out.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's fuel, like there's
Mm-hmm.
time. There's a few things to consider. You can play this. Did you ever try it with multiple taxis?
No.
Me neither. You can play it with multiple taxis. I did
Isn't
not
that
want to
just
do.
what I read in the instructions though? That was just people take turns.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
didn't try it.
Oh, okay.
I just played single taxi also, but yeah, you do need to be aware of your fuel, and you can kind of refuel, but all the refueling platforms are really fucking hard to get to.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Although that reminds me, the multiple taxis made me think of something I haven't thought of in a long time. How I used to play old games like this is I would put it on multiplayer so that I'd get more lives essentially
Hmm.
and could practice the levels without having to
Totally.
reset the game.
Yeah. Right. You endure less Commodore load times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a smart way to do it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. This was fun. I really like his graphic of the space taxi at the beginning.
Yep.
It's like just kind of like, did you ever do tangrams in school?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a tangram space taxi. It's just a bunch of shapes kind of
Yeah.
stuck together, but it's still pretty cool.
Well, I mean, that's the Commodore character graphics set. So you just
Yeah.
print those to the screen and off you go. A lot of my early RPGs were just putting a couple of those on the screen and moving an asterisk around.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
I
that.
think
It's
we've
Space
I
Taxi.
think, I
There's
think
not
we've
much
said
to say
everything
about
there is to
this.
say about Space Taxi. It's a short game, we played two games, a much short game, long game, this is a short game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me do one of these. One of
See what we
these.
got coming up.
Now we're doing Kikstart.
We are.
Yeah,
We're doing that as a long game because
because we
we
need the
wanted
space.
to.
Yeah.
Yes.
However, that doesn't mean you get out of putting in enough time at this next game.
All right, I'm ready.
You ready?
Yep.
Now here's the thing. There's a little backstory to this. When we did Pickle Wars,
Yes.
you told me I couldn't keep lowering the bar for what the worst game we ever played is.
Right.
So you're going to do it. Attack of the Phantom Karate Devils.
Ooh, okay. How could it possibly not be good?
Wait.
Phantom Software?
Yep.
Oh my god.
This was $35 people paid for this game when it came out. And if you've ever played it before, you're offended right now.
I have seen video, I think your video of
Yeah.
playing Attack of the Phantom Karate Devils.
I may have the only video online of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an exciting box though.
Oh my god.
It looks like the dude from Hellraiser, like
Punching some
when he
dude in
comes
the
out of the
face.
floor.
Yep. No, it's
Yeah.
we will have a lot to talk about in this game because there is a lot going on in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I will be interested in where you put it in our pantheon.
All right. I mean, I like a good karate game and I like a good incomprehensible mess.
You get one of the two. I shouldn't prejudge. Enjoy the game for whatever you find in it. We will talk about it when we talk about it.
Sounds good.
All right. Anything else? Any thoughts?
No,
Moments,
that's
groans,
it. That was a
concerns?
quick one.
Quick one, but Space Taxi, man. I mean, it's a.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun. Everything about it's pretty solid. If you like old Commodore games, give it a shot.
If you like
not,
Lunar
why are
Lander,
you
play
watching this
Space
show?
Taxi. Right. Totally.
All right. Talk to
All
everybody
right.
later.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Big thank you to all of you watching, sharing, liking, subscribing, suggesting games, commenting on our videos, or supporting us on Patreon. We appreciate all of your support and look forward to sharing many more videos with you. Thank you again.